Hello, and welcome to the Soothing Ledger. I'm so glad you're here tonight. So very glad. Your presence here, in this moment, is already an act of self-care. Tonight we're going to do something different together. Tonight, we're going to release those money worries, just for a little while, so you can find deep, restorative, healing rest. The kind of rest that actually restores you. The kind of rest that your body and mind are craving. Before we go any further, I want you to know something. Something that might help you breathe a little easier right now, in this very moment. 87% of Americans, that's almost 9 out of every 10 people, feel anxious about their finances. 87%. Think about that for a moment. If you were in a room with 10 people right now, 9 of them would be feeling the same way you do. Which means, if you're lying here tonight worrying about money, you are not alone. You are not broken. You are not failing. You are not doing anything wrong. You are not weak. You are not less than anyone else. You are so beautifully, completely, utterly normal. This is what it means to be human in these times. This is what it means to care about taking care of yourself and the people you love. This is what it means to live in a world where financial security feels increasingly out of reach for so many good, hard-working, deserving people. So let's begin by settling in together, slowly, gently, with no rush at all. There's nowhere else you need to be, nothing else you need to do. This time is yours. If you haven't already, dim the lights in your room or turn them off completely. Let the darkness be a gift, a blanket, a sanctuary from the day you've had, from the worries you've been carrying, from the thoughts that have been spinning through your mind. Find a comfortable position now, maybe on your back with your arms resting gently at your sides, maybe on your side, with a pillow between your knees. Maybe propped up slightly if lying flat doesn't feel good for your body. Whatever feels right for your body tonight, honor that. Your body knows what it needs. Trust it. And when you're ready, if you feel comfortable doing so, close your eyes. Let your eyelids grow heavy, like curtains closing at the end of a long day. Let them seal shut like a door, closing on the worries of the day, on the bills, on the numbers, on all of it. Now, let's breathe together. Just 3 breaths. That's all for now. 3 intentional, conscious, healing breaths to begin this journey into rest. Take a deep breath in through your nose, slowly, steadily. Inhaling peace, inhaling calm, inhaling safety. Fill your lungs completely. And breathe out through your mouth, slowly, fully. Exhaling tension, exhaling worry, exhaling everything you've been carrying today. Let it all go. Again, breathe in, pulling peace deep into your lungs, into your belly, into every cell of your body. Imagine peace as a warm, golden light filling you up. And breathe out, letting tension leave your body like water flowing downstream, natural and effortless, requiring no effort from you at all. One more time, breathe in slowly, peace washing over you like gentle rain, like a soft wave, like the most comfortable blanket settling over your whole body. And breathe out completely, tension dissolving, melting away into nothing, leaving only calm, only peace, only this moment. Beautiful. You're already doing so well. You're already exactly where you need to be. You're already making progress toward rest, toward peace, toward the sleep your body so desperately needs and deserves. Section 2. Grounding breath and body scan. 005 to 0020. 15 minutes. Now we're going to slow down even more. We're going to use a breathing technique that tells your nervous system, tells every cell in your body, tells the worried part of your brain, it's safe now. You can rest now. You can let go now. You don't have to be on guard anymore. It's called 4-7-8 breathing, and it's been used for thousands of years to calm the mind and body. You'll breathe in for a count of 4, hold that breath gently for 7, and then breathe out slowly for 8. Don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about doing it exactly right. Don't stress about the counts. Just follow along at your own pace, in your own time, in your own way. Your breath is uniquely yours. Let's begin now, together. I'll be right here with you. Breathe in slowly through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel your lungs filling, your chest expanding, your belly rising. Now hold that breath gently, not forcing, just holding, letting the oxygen spread through your body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And breathe out slowly through your mouth, letting it all go, releasing everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Feel your whole body softening with that exhale. Feel how that felt in your body. Notice what's different already. Feel how your shoulders might have softened just a little bit, how your jaw might be slightly less clenched, how your breath might be moving a little deeper into your belly. Let's do that again. Breathe in through your nose, filling your lungs from the bottom up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it gently, feeling the fullness in your chest, the expansion in your ribs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And release. Breathe out. Let everything go. Empty your lungs completely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Notice how your body sinks a little deeper into whatever surface is holding you. One more cycle now. Breathing in slowly and steadily. Cool air flowing in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding with gentle intention. No strain, just presence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And breathing out, releasing completely. Warm air flowing out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let your whole body become heavy. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Feel how your body is already beginning to soften, to settle, to release. Feel how your nervous system is already starting to shift from fight or flight into rest and digest. This is your body remembering how to feel safe. Here's something I want you to know, something that might bring you comfort, something that might help you feel less alone in this struggle. 77% of people say that economic stress disrupts their sleep. 77%. That's more than 3 out of every 4 people. That's your neighbors, your co-workers, your friends, your family members. Most of us are lying awake at night, just like you, staring at the ceiling, running numbers through our minds, wondering how we'll make rent, how we'll pay the electric bill, how we'll afford groceries next week, wondering if we'll ever feel secure, if we'll ever stop worrying, if we'll ever get ahead. But tonight we're reclaiming your sleep. Tonight is yours. Tonight belongs to rest, to healing, to letting your body and mind recover from the stress they've been carrying. Let's do a gentle body scan now. We're going to visit the places where money worry lives in your body, where financial anxiety makes its home, and we're going to invite each place to soften, to release, to let go, to rest. We're going to help your body remember what it feels like to be at ease. First, bring your attention to your jaw. Just notice it without trying to change anything yet. Just observe it with curiosity and kindness. When we worry about money, when we stress about bills and debt and making ends meet and wondering if we'll have enough, our jaw clenches. We clench our teeth together, sometimes so tightly that we wake up with headaches or tooth pain. We hold tension there without even knowing it, sometimes for hours, sometimes for days, sometimes for months or years. Notice your jaw right now. Really pay attention to it. Is it tight? Are your teeth touching? Are they pressed together? Are they grinding against each other? Is your jaw pushed forward or pulled back? Is it aching? Just notice for a moment. Breathe in while you notice. Breathe out while you notice. Just observing without judgment. Whatever your jaw is doing right now is okay. It's been trying to protect you, trying to help you cope with stress. Thank it for working so hard. Now, with your next breath out, let it soften. Let your teeth part slightly, just a tiny bit, creating space between your upper and lower teeth. Let your tongue rest gently in your mouth, not pressing against anything, not touching your teeth, just floating there softly in that open space. Breathe in slowly, and as you breathe out, feel your jaw releasing, melting like warm butter on a summer day, softening like clay in warm hands, letting go of all that tension it's been holding. Again, breathe in, and as you breathe out, let your jaw go even softer, even more relaxed, even heavier. You might even feel it hanging slightly open, and that's perfect. That's your body letting go. Take another breath here, and really feel the difference. Feel how much lighter your face feels. Feel how the tension that was radiating up into your temples and forehead has started to ease. Feel how your whole head feels less pressured. You might even feel your whole face softening now, your forehead smoothing out, the lines between your eyebrows releasing like they're being gently erased. Your eyes relaxing deeper into their sockets, no longer straining, no longer searching, no longer vigilant. Your cheeks becoming heavy and soft, like they do right before you fall asleep. Your whole face settling into a mask of peace, of rest, of letting go. Take a long, slow breath here and feel your face rest completely. Breathe in slowly. Breathe out even more slowly. Feel the softness. Feel the release. Good. So, very good. You're doing beautifully. Your body is responding. Your nervous system is listening. Now, bring your attention to your shoulders. Take a moment to really notice where they are in space, how they're positioned, what they're doing, what story they're telling about how stressed you've been. This is where we carry worry. This is where financial stress sits like a heavy backpack we can't take off, like a yoke across our neck, like the weight of the world pressing down. When we're anxious about money, our shoulders climb up toward our ears, as if we're trying to protect ourselves, as if we're bracing for impact, as if we're preparing for something bad to happen, which is how financial anxiety makes us feel, like disaster is always just around the corner. Notice your shoulders right now. Really feel into them. Are they up near your ears? Are they tight and bunched, muscles contracted and hard? Are they hunched forward, curling your spine? Are they pulled back too far, straining? Where are they holding tension? Just notice. Just observe. This isn't about fixing yet. This is about awareness. This is about seeing clearly how your body has been holding stress. Breathe in while you notice. Breathe out while you notice. Now, breathe in slowly. And as you breathe in, let your shoulders be exactly where they are. Accept them. Don't try to change them yet. Just acknowledge, yes, this is where my shoulders are. This is how my body has been holding stress. This is what worry looks like in my body. And now, as you breathe out, let them drop. Let them fall away from your ears. Let them slide down your back like melting snow, sliding off a roof. Let them surrender completely to gravity, to the pull of the earth beneath you, letting the ground hold them for you. Breathe in again, and as you breathe out, let those shoulders drop even more, even heavier, even more relaxed, as if you're shrugging off a heavy coat you've been wearing for far too long. A coat that never really fit, a coat that was always too heavy. Feel the space that creates in your neck. Feel the relief flooding into those tight muscles that have been working so hard. Feel how much lighter your upper body becomes when you're not holding everything up there, when you're not trying to carry it all alone, when you let yourself be supported by what's beneath you. Maybe roll your shoulders back gently if that feels good. A slow, gentle roll, releasing any remaining tightness. And then let them settle into their natural resting place, wherever they want to be, wherever they're comfortable. Feel how different that is from where they were before. Take another deep breath here, breathing into that new space in your neck and upper back. Breathing into the relief, breathing into the softness. Breathe in slowly, breathe out completely. Now, let's move to your chest. Bring your awareness to the center of your chest, to your heart space, to your breastbone, to that place where so much emotion lives, where anxiety often feels the most intense. When we think about bills, about debt, about money we don't have, about expenses we can't afford, about a future that feels uncertain, our chest gets tight. It constricts. It closes in on itself. It feels like there's a band wrapped around our ribs, like someone sitting on our chest, like we can't take a full breath, like there's a weight pressing down on our sternum, making it hard to breathe freely, making it hard to exist. Place one hand over your heart if that feels comfortable for you. If not, if that feels too vulnerable right now, that's okay too. Just bring your awareness there. Just notice your chest, your heart, your breath. Feel your hand there if you've placed it, warm and solid and real, the weight of your own hand reminding you that you're here, you're alive, you're present, you're held by your own touch. Or feel your chest rising and falling with each breath if your hand isn't there. That natural rhythm that's been with you since birth, that's never stopped, that will continue as long as you live. Breathe into your hand, into your chest. Let your chest expand against your palm, or just expand into the space around you. Let your ribs spread. Let your heart have room. Let your lungs fill completely. Breathe in, chest opening, ribs spreading like wings, heart space expanding, creating room for breath, for oxygen, for life, for possibility. And breathe out, chest softening, but not collapsing, just releasing any tightness, any constriction, any holding, any bracing, any armor you've been wearing. Breathe in again, creating space, opening up like a flower opening to the sun, like a door opening to let light in, allowing your breath to fill you completely, to reach every corner of your lungs, every cell that needs oxygen. And breathe out, releasing any tightness, any heaviness, anything that doesn't serve you, anything that's just been sitting there weighing you down, keeping you small, keeping you contracted. Feel your heart beating beneath your hand if it's there, or just sense it in your chest. That steady rhythm, that faithful muscle that keeps working for you, keeps beating for you, keeps sustaining your life even when everything feels hard. Thank your heart. It's been carrying you through all of this. Your chest is allowed to be open. You are allowed to breathe fully, deeply, completely. You are allowed to take up space in this world. You are allowed to exist without compression, without pressure, without making yourself small. You are allowed to be here, fully as you are, taking up exactly as much space as you need. Breathe in deeply, claiming that space. Breathe out slowly, settling into it. Finally, let's bring awareness to your stomach, to your belly, to that soft, vulnerable space below your ribs where so much of our emotional life lives, where fear sits, where worry churns. This is where money anxiety lives for so many of us. This is where the knots form, tight and hard and persistent. This is where the churning happens, that constant unsettled feeling like you're on a boat in rough seas. This is where the nausea sits, that sick feeling we get when we check our bank account, when we think about bills we can't pay, when we remember unexpected expenses, when we look at that number and feel our stomach drop, feel our insides twist. Notice your belly now. Really bring your attention there, all of your awareness, all of your presence. Is it tight? Clenched? Hard like a rock? Is it churning and uncomfortable? Is there a knot there, a ball of tension that feels like it's been there forever? Is there nausea? Is it tender? Sensitive? What sensations do you notice? Just notice without judgment, without trying to make it different. Whatever is there is okay. Whatever you're feeling is valid and real and understandable. This is where your body has been storing financial fear, and that makes complete sense. Your body is doing what bodies do. It's responding to threat. It's trying to keep you safe in the only way it knows how. Thank your belly for trying to protect you, for trying to alert you, for caring about your survival. Now, breathe into your belly. Let it rise as you inhale. Let it expand and get round and soft, like a balloon gently filling with warm air, like bread dough rising in a warm kitchen, like a wave swelling before it breaks gently on shore. Breathe in, belly rising, expanding, softening, releasing its tight hold. And breathe out, belly falling, releasing, letting go, relaxing, sinking back down toward your spine. Breathe in again, belly rising like a gentle wave coming toward shore, full and round and soft. Breathe out, belly falling like the tide going out, natural and easy, no force required. You might place your other hand on your belly if that helps you connect with the movement, with the rise and fall, with the gentle rhythm of your breath. Feel your belly push against your hand as you breathe in. Feel it soften as you breathe out. Feel the warmth of your hand on your belly, offering comfort, offering presence, offering the message. You're safe now. You can release now. You can rest now. This kind of belly breathing, this diaphragmatic breathing, tells your nervous system that you're safe. When we're anxious, we breathe shallowly, high in our chest, quick and panicked. When we're calm, we breathe deeply into our belly, slow and steady. So by breathing into your belly, you're sending your body the signal. We're safe now. We can rest now. We can let go now. The threat has passed. We can come down from high alert. Continue breathing into your belly for a few more breaths. Breathing in slowly, feeling your belly rise. Breathing out slowly, feeling your belly fall. Rise and fall. Rise and fall. Like waves. Like breath. Like the most natural thing in the world. Breathe in. Breathe out. Belly rising, belly falling. Over and over. Steady. Rhythmic. Soothing. Now let's repeat an affirmation together. I'll say it 3 times, and I invite you to say it silently in your mind, or out loud if you're comfortable, and if you're alone. Let these words sink into your body, into your heart, into your understanding, into your nervous system. Worries wait for daylight. Now is for rest. Let that sink in. Let those words settle into your body like stones settling into soft earth, like rain soaking into dry ground. Feel what it would be like if that were true. Feel what it would be like to really let your worries wait until morning. Feel the relief of that. Feel the permission in that. Again, worries wait for daylight. Now is for rest. Feel the truth of that. Feel how your body responds to permission to let go, to release, to stop trying to solve everything right now, in the middle of the night, when you're exhausted and your thinking isn't clear anyway, and you're running on fumes and can't make good decisions. One more time, worries wait for daylight. Now is for rest. Let that become your mantra, your truth, your anchor. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Beautiful. So beautiful. Your body is listening. Your nervous system is responding. You're already moving toward rest, toward peace, toward the sleep you need. Section 3. Naming your money worries. 0:20 to 0:50. 30 minutes. Now, I want to invite you to notice what your top money worry is. What's the thing that keeps you up at night? What's the thought that circles around and around in your mind like a vulture when you're trying to fall asleep? What's the first thing you think about when you wake up at 3 in the morning, heart pounding, mind racing, breath shallow? You don't have to fix it right now. You don't have to solve it. You don't have to make it go away. You don't even have to have a plan. You don't have to know what to do about it. You don't have to be strong or brave or have all the answers. You don't have to do anything except notice. Just name it. Just see it clearly. Just acknowledge it. Just say to yourself, silently or out loud, yes, this is what I'm worried about. This is what's keeping me up. This is what's sitting heavy in my chest. This is what makes my stomach hurt. Is it bills? Specific bills that are due that you're not sure you can pay. The electricity bill, the water bill, the phone bill, the internet, the car payment. Those envelopes that keep coming, those automatic payments that keep processing, those numbers that keep adding up. Is it debt? Credit cards with balances that seem to grow instead of shrink. No matter how hard you try, no matter how much you pay, it feels like you're running on a treadmill and getting nowhere. Student loans that feel like they'll follow you for the rest of your life, like you'll never be free of them, like you'll be paying them until you're old and gray. Medical bills from an illness or accident you never saw coming. That weren't your fault. That insurance didn't cover or didn't cover enough. Is it your job or the lack of a job? The fear of getting laid off, of being part of the next round of cuts. The reality of already being unemployed and not knowing how you'll make it, how you'll explain the gap in your resume, how you'll pay for anything. The exhaustion of working 2 or 3 jobs and still not making enough, still falling behind. The frustration of being underemployed, of having skills and education that aren't being valued or compensated fairly, of feeling like you did everything right and it still didn't work out. Is it the future? Retirement that feels like a cruel joke, something that happens to other people but not to you, something your parents had, but that doesn't seem possible for your generation. An emergency fund that seems like a fantasy, like something only rich people have, like something you've been told you should have, but can't figure out how to build when you're barely covering current expenses. The knowledge that you are one unexpected expense away from disaster, one car repair, one medical emergency, one anything away from everything falling apart. Is it the uncertainty of it all? Not knowing what tomorrow will bring, what will break next, what surprise expense will pop up, when the other shoe will drop. Living in a constant state of waiting for bad news, for another bill, for another crisis, for another setback. Just notice what comes up for you. Notice it with compassion, with kindness, without judgment, without criticism, without telling yourself you shouldn't feel this way, or you're being dramatic, or other people have it worse. Here's something that might help you feel less alone right now. Something that might help you see that your worry isn't irrational, isn't unfounded, isn't you being dramatic or weak or bad with money. 70% of Americans say they feel financial anxiety weekly. Weekly. Not once a year, not occasionally, not rarely, but every single week. 7 out of 10 people are worrying about money at least once a week, and many are worrying about it every single day, multiple times a day, from the moment they wake up to the moment they try to sleep. And it's gotten worse. 79% of people say their financial stress has increased in 2025 compared to previous years. Nearly 8 out of 10 people say things are harder now than they were before. You're not imagining it. It is harder. The cost of everything has gone up. Wages haven't kept pace. What used to be enough isn't enough anymore. What used to work doesn't work anymore. And young adults are being hit especially hard, disproportionately hard. 62% of Gen Z report feeling stressed about money 3 or more days per week. More than half of millennials and Gen X say the same thing. 58 to 61% feeling significant financial stress multiple times every single week. This isn't a personal failing. This is a systemic issue affecting millions and millions of people just like you. People doing their best. People working hard. People trying to make it work. Now, I want you to ask yourself a question. Not to answer out loud, not to figure out right now, just to hold gently in your mind, just to let float there like a leaf floating on water. What if this worry is a signal, not a sentence? What if your financial anxiety isn't a judgment on you as a person, but rather information about your circumstances? What if it's not saying you're a failure, but rather, this situation is hard and you need support? What if it's not saying you're bad with money, but rather, the economy is structured in a way that makes financial security incredibly difficult for most people? If you're able, if it feels helpful, you might journal about this mentally. You don't need paper or a pen. Just notice your thoughts. What comes up when you think about your main money worry? What feelings arise? Fear, shame, anger, helplessness, frustration, sadness, exhaustion. All of those are valid. All of those make sense. All of those are normal responses to financial stress. Let's pause here in each of these areas of financial stress, spending some time acknowledging what might be your particular struggle, what might be the specific worry that's been following you around, that's been sitting on your chest, that's been keeping you up at night. I'll speak slowly, and you can just notice what resonates, what feels true for you, what touches that tender, worried place inside you, what makes you want to cry or scream or give up. First, let's talk about rent and groceries and the basics of survival. 49% of people say that rent or housing costs and grocery expenses are their top financial stressor. Nearly half of all Americans. If this is you, if you're lying here tonight wondering how you'll make rent next month, wondering if you'll have to choose between paying rent and buying food, wondering if you'll have to ask family for help again, or take out another loan, or put it on a credit card that's already maxed out, you are far from alone. Housing costs have skyrocketed, and the word skyrocketed doesn't even capture how dramatic it's been. Rent that was $800 5 years ago is now $1,200 or $1,500 or more. Mortgages that seemed manageable when interest rates were low are now stretching budgets to the breaking point as rates have climbed. And food prices, grocery prices, have climbed so dramatically that it feels like you're in a different economy than the one from just a few years ago. A grocery trip that used to cost $80 now costs $120 or $150. The same cart of food, the same basic necessities, costing so much more. And wages haven't kept up. That's the key. Wages have not kept up with these increases. If this is your worry, I want you to know, I need you to hear, this is not your fault. You are not being irresponsible. You are not bad at budgeting. You are not failing at adulting. The system is failing you. The economy is failing you. The social safety net is failing you. And while that doesn't solve the problem, while that doesn't make rent appear or make groceries cheaper, I hope it helps you release some of the shame, some of the self-blame, some of the feeling that you should somehow be doing better when you're already doing everything you can. Breathe in, acknowledging this struggle. Breathe out, releasing shame. You are doing your best. This is hard. It's not your fault. Now let's talk about unexpected costs, those surprises that derail everything. 48% of people cite unexpected expenses as a major source of financial anxiety. The car that breaks down and needs $1,000 in repairs you don't have. The tooth that cracks and needs emergency dental work that insurance doesn't fully cover. The appliance that dies and has to be replaced. The medical bill that shows up months after treatment, after you thought everything was paid, surprising you with another few $100s owed. The things we can't plan for, can't predict, can't budget for, because we don't know they're coming, don't know when they'll hit, don't know how much they'll cost. If this is your worry, if you're lying here thinking about the last unexpected expense that threw your whole budget off track, that forced you to put something on a credit card, or borrow money, or skip paying another bill, or dreading the next one that you know is coming. Even though you don't know what it will be, or when it will arrive, you are not alone. Most people, the majority of people, are one unexpected $500 expense away from serious financial crisis. 48% of people don't have a 3-month emergency fund. They're living paycheck to paycheck, one crisis away from disaster, one surprise away from everything falling apart. If that's you, if you don't have savings, if you're barely making it from one paycheck to the next, please hear me. Please really hear this. You are not irresponsible. You are not bad with money. You are not failing. You are living in an economy that makes saving nearly impossible for most people, that pays most people just barely enough to survive, but not enough to thrive, not enough to build security, not enough to feel safe. Breathe in, acknowledging this reality, acknowledging how hard this is. Breathe out, releasing judgment, releasing shame, releasing the lie that this is your personal fault. Here's another truth I want you to know, another piece of data that might help contextualize your struggle, that might help you see this isn't about you, it's about systems. 43% of people say money worries have negatively impacted their mental health, causing anxiety, depression, or both. Nearly half of all Americans are experiencing diagnosable mental health consequences from financial stress. Think about that for a moment. Financial anxiety isn't just about money. It's not just about numbers. It's affecting how you feel every day, every hour, every moment. How you sleep at night or don't sleep. How you show up in your relationships or can't show up. How you experience joy or can't experience joy. How you function at work or struggle to function. It's affecting your whole life, your whole sense of well-being, your whole ability to be present and engaged and okay. And the cause is clear. 69% of people link their financial stress directly to inflation and rising prices. More than 2/3 of people saying, "This isn't about my choices. This isn't about my spending habits. This isn't about me not being disciplined enough. This is about an economy where costs are rising faster than incomes, where what used to be affordable isn't anymore, where people are working harder than ever and falling further behind despite doing everything right. Money stress doesn't just affect your mental health, it affects your relationships too. 67% of people report that financial worry has strained their relationships with family, friends, or romantic partners. Money arguments, tension about spending, stress that spills over into every interaction, every conversation, every moment together. If you fought with your partner about money, if you felt distant from friends because you can't afford to go out and don't want to admit it, if you felt judged by family members who don't understand your situation or think you should just work harder or budget better, you are not alone. Most people are experiencing this. Most relationships are under strain from financial stress. And work suffers too. 59% say financial anxiety impacts their work performance. It's hard to focus when you're worried about making rent. It's hard to be productive when you're running numbers in your head during meetings. It's hard to care about your performance review when you're just trying to make it through the day without breaking down. It's hard to do your best work when you're exhausted from lying awake, worrying all night, when your brain is foggy from stress and lack of sleep, when your emotional resources are completely depleted. But here's what I want you to hear, what I need you to understand, what I hope you can let sink deep into your bones. None of this is your fault. These numbers, these statistics, they show that this is a widespread systemic problem, not a personal failing. You are not alone in your struggle. You are not uniquely bad at managing money. You are not the only one who can't seem to get ahead. You are living through difficult economic times that are affecting tens of millions of people. Good people, hardworking people, responsible people, smart people, people just like you. Breathe in, letting that truth sink in, letting it settle, letting it maybe lift a little bit of the weight you've been carrying. Breathe out, releasing self-blame, releasing shame, releasing the lie that you should be doing better when you're already doing everything you can. Now let's talk specifically about young adults, because if you're in Gen Z or a younger millennial, you're being hit especially hard by financial anxiety, harder than older generations, and it's important to understand why, to see the context, to know it's not your fault. 39% of Gen Z report feeling depressed or anxious about money weekly. That's 4 out of every 10 young adults feeling significant mental health impacts from financial stress every single week. Every week. That's not occasional worry. That's chronic mental health struggle directly tied to financial circumstances. This isn't because young people are bad with money, or irresponsible, or lazy, or too focused on avocado toast, or whatever condescending, dismissive thing older generations say when they don't understand, or don't want to understand. This is because young adults are entering an economy where housing is unaffordable, where a starter home costs what a luxury home cost for previous generations, where student loan debt is crushing. We're getting an education meant for many people going into debt that will take decades to pay off, where wages haven't kept up with costs, where entry-level positions pay barely enough to survive, and where the social safety nets that existed for previous generations have frayed or disappeared entirely, where you're expected to figure it all out on your own, with less support, less stability, less security than your parents or grandparents had. If you're a young adult lying here tonight worrying about money, feeling like you should have it more together by now, feeling like everyone else is doing fine and you're the only one struggling, feeling like you're failing at being an adult, please hear me. You inherited an incredibly difficult economic situation. You are not failing. The system is failing you. The economy is failing you. The promises you were told about education and hard work leading to security are failing you. And here's another reality many people face, another piece of this puzzle. 37% of people avoid checking their bank balance because it causes too much anxiety. More than 1 in 3 people can't bear to look. 49% of Gen Z avoid looking at their accounts. Nearly half of young adults are too anxious to even see the numbers because the emotional impact is too severe. Because seeing that number triggers panic, or shame, or despair, or all of the above. If that's you, if you've been avoiding logging into your bank app, if you've been too afraid to look, if the thought of seeing that number makes your heart race and your stomach drop, please hear me. That's a completely understandable response to financial trauma. That's your nervous system trying to protect you from overwhelm. That's not laziness. That's not irresponsibility. That's not you being an ostrich with your head in the sand. That's a normal psychological response to chronic stress and perceived threat. And reframing, healing, moving forward starts with gentle awareness when you're ready, not with forcing yourself to look before you have the emotional resources to handle it, not with shaming yourself for avoiding, not with judging yourself for being afraid. When you're ready, with support, with compassion, you can start to look, but not tonight. Tonight, you rest. But worrying tonight, right now, as you lie here trying to sleep, changes nothing about your financial situation. Worrying doesn't pay bills. Worrying doesn't make money appear in your account. Worrying doesn't solve problems. Worrying doesn't make anything better. What worrying does do is steal your rest, damage your health, cloud your thinking, deplete your emotional resources, and make it harder for you to think clearly and make good decisions tomorrow when you actually could take action. So what we're going to do now is practice transitioning. We're going to acknowledge the worry, honor it, validate it, and then practice setting it aside for tonight. Just for tonight. Not forever. Not denying it exists. Not pretending everything is fine. Just setting it down for these hours of sleep so your body and mind can rest and restore and recover. Breathe in, acknowledging your worry exists, acknowledging it's real, acknowledging it makes sense. Breathe out, giving yourself permission to set it down for now, to let it rest, to let yourself rest. Breathe in, knowing the worry will be there tomorrow if you need it. Knowing you're not abandoning your responsibilities by resting. Breathe out, choosing rest for tonight, choosing to care for yourself, choosing to prioritize your well-being. Breathe in, recognizing you've done enough for today. You've worried enough. You've carried this enough. Breathe out, releasing the need to do more right now, releasing the pressure to figure it all out tonight. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to stop thinking about money for a few hours. You are allowed to let your body and mind recover. You deserve that. You need that. You are worthy of that. And tomorrow, after rest, you'll be better equipped to handle whatever comes, to take whatever small steps are possible, to face whatever needs facing. Section 4. Facts on why it feels so heavy. Expanded, 050 to 120. 30 minutes. Now I want to spend some time helping you understand why this feels so heavy, why financial anxiety weighs on you the way it does, why it's not just in your head, why it's not something you can just think your way out of or positive affirmation your way through. This is real. This is heavy. And there are reasons for that. Structural reasons, economic reasons, social reasons that go far beyond any individual choices you've made. Let's start with the mental health impact, because this is profound and often overlooked, often dismissed, often minimized when it should be taken seriously. 43% of Americans say money worries have negatively impacted their mental health, causing anxiety, depression, or both. That's nearly half the population experiencing diagnosable mental health symptoms directly related to financial stress. Think about what that means for a moment. Really let that sink in. Financial anxiety isn't just feeling a bit worried sometimes. For many people, it crosses the line into clinical anxiety disorder that would meet diagnostic criteria. Racing thoughts that won't stop no matter what you do. Panic attacks when thinking about bills or checking accounts. Constant low-level dread that colors everything, that makes it hard to enjoy anything, that sits in the background of every moment. Intrusive thoughts about worst-case scenarios that play on loop. Physical symptoms like chest tightness, rapid heartbeat, difficulty breathing, nausea, dizziness, and depression. The hopelessness of feeling like you'll never get ahead no matter what you do. The exhaustion of trying so hard and still falling behind despite your best efforts. The loss of joy in things you used to enjoy because you can't afford them anymore, or because financial worry is always there in the background, poisoning everything. The social withdrawal because you can't afford to go out with friends and don't want to admit it. The shame spiral that makes you feel like you're failing at being an adult, like everyone else has it figured out except you. This is serious. This is real. This is not you being dramatic or weak or oversensitive. This is a normal psychological response to chronic stress and perceived threat to survival. Because at its core, at the most fundamental level, financial insecurity is a threat to survival. Money pays for food, shelter, health care, safety, the basics of staying alive. Of course, your brain treats financial stress as an emergency. Of course, your nervous system stays activated. Your nervous system isn't overreacting. It's responding appropriately to a real threat. Breathe in, acknowledging this is real and serious. Acknowledging you're not making this up. Breathe out, offering yourself compassion for struggling with something genuinely difficult, truly hard. Now let's talk about what's driving this anxiety, because understanding the cause can sometimes help us feel less crazy, less alone, less like it's all our fault. And the data is clear about what's happening. 69% of people link their financial stress directly to inflation and rising prices. That's 7 out of 10 people saying, "The reason I'm struggling is because everything costs more and my income hasn't increased to match." This is up significantly from previous years. The cost of living has increased faster in recent years than it had in decades, faster than most people alive today have experienced before. Think about your own experience. Think about specific numbers. What did your rent cost 5 years ago versus now? For many people, it's increased by 30, 40, 50% or more. What did a gallon of milk cost? A dozen eggs? A pound of ground beef? What did a tank of gas cost? What did your utility bills run? Your phone bill? Your car insurance? Your health insurance premiums? For most people, these costs have increased by 20, 30, 40% or more in just the last few years, while wages have remained stagnant or increased by only a few percent at most. The math literally doesn't work anymore. What used to be enough to live on comfortably is now barely enough to survive, to meet basic needs. And that's not your fault. That's not a personal failing. That's not you being bad at budgeting. That's an economic reality affecting tens of millions of people. You are working just as hard, maybe harder than before. You are being just as responsible, maybe more so, maybe more careful with every dollar. You are making just as good decisions, maybe better ones, maybe more disciplined than ever before. But the economic landscape has shifted beneath your feet, and it's harder to stay standing, harder to keep your balance, harder to keep moving forward. Breathe in, acknowledging the external factors, acknowledging this isn't all on you. Breathe out, releasing self-blame for systemic problems, releasing shame for circumstances beyond your control. And let's talk more specifically about the debt crisis, because this is affecting so many people, especially young adults. The average Gen Z member with student loans carries over $30,000 in debt. $30,000. That's a weight, a burden, a monthly payment that can feel crushing, that limits options, that delays life milestones like buying a home or starting a family, or even just feeling stable. And credit card debt has ballooned. The average American with credit card debt carries over $6,000 in balances. And with interest rates on credit cards often above 20%, that debt grows faster than people can pay it down. People are borrowing just to cover basic expenses, to buy groceries, to pay utilities, not luxury items, not vacations, but survival needs. If you're carrying debt, if you're one of these statistics, I want you to know. You're not alone. You're not irresponsible. Most of that debt came from trying to survive, trying to cover gaps between income and expenses, trying to handle emergencies, trying to get an education you were told would lead to better opportunities. This is not moral failing. This is economic reality. Breathe in, acknowledging if debt is part of your burden. Breathe out, releasing judgment about it. And it's not just mental health that's affected by financial stress. Financial stress impacts every area of life, rippling outward in ways we don't always recognize or connect, in ways that compound, that make everything harder. 67% of people report relationship strain due to money worries. That's 2/3 of Americans saying financial stress has damaged their relationships with family, friends, or romantic partners. Maybe you've experienced this. Maybe you're experiencing it right now. Fighting with your partner about spending, about bills, about who's responsible for what, about differing approaches to money and priorities. One person wants to save, the other needs to spend on necessities. One person grew up with money, doesn't understand why you're stressed, can't relate. One person is anxious and wants to talk about it constantly, process it, plan, while the other shuts down and avoids the topic because it's too overwhelming. Or tension with friends because you can't afford to go out, can't afford to travel with them, can't afford to split the check at expensive restaurants they want to try, and you feel left behind, left out, different, ashamed. And maybe your friends don't understand, don't get why you're being difficult or no fun anymore, or why you can't just put it on a credit card like they do, or conflict with family, parents who don't understand why you're struggling when they were able to buy a house at your age, who don't see how different the economy is now, who think you're not trying hard enough or not being smart with money. Siblings who seem to be doing fine and make you feel like something's wrong with you, like you're the only one who can't get it together. Adult children who need help you can't afford to give, and you feel guilty, feel like you're failing them. Aging parents who need support and you're trying to help them while barely keeping your own head above water. Money touches everything. Money is woven through every relationship. Money, stress infects every relationship because money is tangled up in how we show love, how we show care, how we demonstrate responsibility, how we prove we're adulting successfully, how we show we're good partners, or parents, or children, or friends. When money is tight, relationships suffer. And that creates even more stress, even more anxiety, a vicious cycle where financial stress damages relationships, which increases stress, which damages relationships further. Breathe in, acknowledging how far-reaching this impact is, how it touches everything. Breathe out, offering compassion to yourself and everyone you are in relationship with, who's also struggling, who's also affected. Work suffers too. 59% of people say financial anxiety impacts their work performance. That's more than half of all workers saying they can't do their job as well as they could because they're worried about money, because their mind is elsewhere, because they're exhausted, because they're depleted. And this makes sense, doesn't it? How could it not affect work? It's hard to concentrate in meetings when you're mentally calculating whether you can pay rent, adding numbers, moving money around mentally, trying to figure out if you can make it work. It's hard to be creative and innovative when your brain is consumed with survival math, with basic arithmetic about how to make ends meet. It's hard to be patient with customers or colleagues when you're exhausted from lying awake worrying all night, when you're running on empty, when you have nothing left to give. It's hard to care about your performance review or the company's goals when you're just trying to make it through the day without breaking down, when you're in survival mode. And the cruel irony is that poor work performance could lead to losing your job, which would make your financial situation worse, which increases your anxiety, which makes it even harder to work well. Another vicious cycle. Another way that financial stress becomes self-perpetuating, self-reinforcing, hard to escape. You're not lazy. You're not uncommitted. You're not a bad employee. You're a person under enormous stress, trying to function in a work environment that likely doesn't acknowledge or accommodate that stress, that expects you to leave your personal life at the door and perform at peak level regardless of what you're dealing with, regardless of what's keeping you up at night. Breathe in, acknowledging how exhausting this is, how hard you're working just to keep going. Breathe out, releasing the pressure to be superhuman, to be perfect, to have it all together when everything is falling apart. Now let's talk specifically about young adults again, because the statistics here are particularly striking and particularly heartbreaking. And if you're young and struggling, I want you to know the context, to understand why. 39% of Gen Z, that's people roughly aged 18 to 27, report feeling depressed or anxious about money on a weekly basis. Every single week. 52 weeks a year. That's nearly constant mental health struggle tied directly to financial stress, tied directly to economic circumstances. And it's not much better for slightly older adults. 58 to 61% of millennials and Gen X report significant financial stress multiple days per week. So we're talking about an entire generation of young and middle-aged adults living under crushing financial anxiety, living with constant worry, living with the weight of this every day. Why is this? Why are younger adults being hit so hard? What's different? What changed? Student loan debt is one major factor. Many young adults are carrying tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debt for degrees that don't lead to jobs that pay enough to comfortably make the loan payments, that don't lead to the financial security they were promised. They were told education was the path to financial security, the ticket to the middle class, the way to get ahead. But instead, it became a path to decades of debt, to monthly payments that feel like they'll never end, to interest that keeps growing. Housing costs are another factor, a huge factor. Young adults are trying to enter a housing market where prices have skyrocketed beyond anything previous generations faced. What their parents paid for a house, what their grandparents paid, is no longer anywhere close to reality. A starter home that cost $100,000 is now $300,000 or $400,000 or more. Many young adults can't afford to buy a home at all, can't imagine ever being able to afford one, and rent takes up half or more of their income. They're being told they should save for a down payment while barely being able to cover current expenses, barely being able to eat and pay rent. Wage stagnation is another piece. Entry-level wages, starting salaries, haven't kept pace with inflation, haven't kept pace with cost of living increases. The same jobs that used to support a comfortable middle-class life now barely provide subsistence living. Young adults are working just as hard as their parents did, often working multiple jobs, putting in long hours, and still struggling to make ends meet, still unable to save, still living paycheck to paycheck. And the gig economy has made everything more precarious, more unstable, more uncertain. Fewer stable full-time jobs with benefits, more contract work, freelancing, part-time positions without health insurance, or retirement benefits, or job security. More instability, more uncertainty, more stress, because you never know if the work will continue, if you'll have income next month, if you'll be able to pay your bills. So if you're a younger person lying here tonight feeling like you're failing at adulthood, feeling like you should have it more together by now, feeling like everyone else is doing fine and you're the only one struggling, please hear this. Please really hear it. You are not failing. An entire generation is being failed by economic systems that no longer work for ordinary people, by promises that were broken, by a social contract that was torn up. You are not alone. You are not uniquely bad at this. You are living through genuinely difficult circumstances that are not of your making. Breathe in, absorbing that truth, letting it counter the shame. Breathe out, releasing shame and self-judgment, releasing the lie that this is your fault. And here's another statistic that speaks to how overwhelming financial anxiety can be, how paralyzing it becomes. 37% of Americans avoid checking their bank balance because it causes too much stress and anxiety. More than 1 in 3 people can't bear to look at their financial reality because the emotional impact is too severe. Because looking triggers panic or shame or despair. And for Gen Z, it's even worse, even more pronounced. 49%, nearly half, avoid checking their accounts. Half of young adults are too anxious to even look at their money situation, too afraid to see the numbers, too overwhelmed by what they might find. If this is you, I want to normalize this for you. I want to take away the judgment you might be placing on yourself. This is called financial avoidance, and it's a real psychological phenomenon, a recognized response to financial stress and trauma. It's not laziness. It's not irresponsibility. It's not you being an ostrich with your head in the sand. It's a trauma response. It's your nervous system trying to protect you from overwhelm, from emotional flooding, from information that feels too big to handle. When looking at your bank balance triggers a panic attack, when seeing that number makes you feel nauseated, or spirals you into depression, or makes you want to give up on everything, your brain learns to avoid it. That's not weakness. That's your survival instinct trying to protect your mental health in the only way it knows how, trying to keep you functional, trying to prevent complete breakdown. The path forward isn't to shame yourself for avoiding. It's not to force yourself to look before you're ready. It's to build up your capacity to look, gradually, gently, with support, with compassion. It's to create safety around engaging with your finances. It's to develop compassion for the part of you that's so afraid, that's been so hurt, that's so overwhelmed. And that takes time. That's a process. That's okay. That's allowed. For tonight, you don't have to look. You don't have to face it. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to let that be tomorrow's task, or next week's, or next month's, whenever you have the emotional resources to handle it, whenever you have the support you need. Breathe in, offering compassion to the part of you that's afraid, that's been avoiding. Breathe out, releasing pressure to do something you're not ready for, releasing shame about needing time. Here's one more piece of context, one more statistic that I think is important, that shows both the challenge and that progress is possible. Despite all this struggle, despite all this stress, 48% of Americans do have at least a 3-month emergency fund saved. That's actually good news in a way. Nearly half of people have managed, despite everything, despite all the challenges we've been talking about, to put aside some savings for emergencies. But let's be real about what that means. Let's not sugarcoat it. That means 52% don't have even a 3-month cushion. That means more than half of Americans are living without that safety net, are one major car repair, one medical emergency, one job loss away from serious financial crisis, from everything falling apart. And a 3-month emergency fund, while it's something, while it's progress, is also not really enough for true security, for real peace of mind. Financial experts used to recommend 3 to 6 months. Now they're saying 6 to 12 months, because it takes longer to find a new job than it used to, because healthcare costs can be catastrophic, because unexpected expenses seem to keep coming, seem to come in waves. So even the people who have made it to that 3-month benchmark often don't feel secure. They're still worried. They're still anxious, because they know 3 months can disappear fast. They know it's not enough for real emergencies, for real crises. The point is, small starts count. Any savings is better than no savings. Progress is progress, even when it's slow, even when it feels insufficient, even when it feels like you'll never get to real security. $100 in an emergency fund is better than 0. 200 is better than 100. Progress doesn't have to be fast. It doesn't have to be linear. It just has to be something. If you have some savings, even a small amount, that's worth acknowledging. You did that. Despite everything, despite all the odds, despite this difficult economy, despite everything working against you, you managed to set something aside. That took discipline. That took sacrifice. That took saying no to things you wanted, maybe even needed. That matters. That counts. That's something to be proud of. And if you don't have savings yet, if you're in the 52%, that's not a moral failing. That's not you being irresponsible or bad with money. That means your income doesn't exceed your essential expenses enough to save. That means you're in survival mode, living paycheck to paycheck, just trying to make it. And that's not your fault. That's the reality for more than half of Americans. You are not alone. You are not uniquely failing. Breathe in. Acknowledging wherever you are is okay, is exactly where you are, is not a judgment on you. Breathe out, releasing comparison and judgment, releasing the pressure to be somewhere you're not. The reason I'm sharing all these statistics, all these numbers, all this data, is not to make you feel worse, not to pile on, not to overwhelm you with how bad things are. It's to help you see that your struggle is not individual, it's collective. Your anxiety is not personal weakness. It's a reasonable response to systemic problems, to economic conditions that are genuinely difficult. You are not alone. You are not failing. You are surviving an economy that has become increasingly hostile to ordinary people, increasingly stacked against people who work for a living. And understanding that context, while it doesn't solve the problem, while it doesn't make money appear or make bills disappear, can sometimes lift a little bit of the shame, can sometimes quiet that voice in your head that says, you should be doing better, you should have it more together, you should be more like everyone else, you should be able to handle this, because everyone else is struggling too. Everyone else is anxious too. Everyone else is just trying to make it work, just like you, doing their best, worried they're not doing enough. You are not alone. Say that to yourself right now. Say it like a mantra. Say it like a truth you're trying to believe. I am not alone in this struggle. Millions of people are facing the same challenges. This is not my fault. This is not my failure. I am doing my best. My best is enough. Breathe in, letting that truth settle, letting it sink into your bones. Breathe out, releasing isolation and shame, releasing the lie that you're the only one. And here's what I want you to remember as we prepare to transition into the next part of this journey, as we prepare to move toward visualization and then rest. Worrying about this tonight, right now, doesn't change any of it. The statistics will be the same tomorrow. Your bank balance will be the same in the morning. Your bills will still be due whenever they're due. Your financial situation will not have improved or worsened because you worried about it tonight, because you lay here thinking about it, because you lost sleep over it. But your health will suffer if you don't rest. Your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health. Your mental clarity will be worse tomorrow if you don't sleep tonight. Your emotional resilience will be depleted if you don't let your body and mind recover. Your ability to handle challenges will be compromised if you don't give yourself the gift of rest. So the most productive thing you can do for your financial future right now, in this moment, is sleep, is rest, is let your nervous system calm down, is let your body heal from the stress it's been under, from the cortisol that's been flooding your system, from the constant state of activation and vigilance. That's what we're going to focus on now. Not solving, not planning, not figuring out, just resting, just breathing, just being, just allowing yourself to exist without the pressure of fixing everything, without the weight of worry, without the burden you've been carrying. You've carried it enough for today. You've worried enough for today. You've done enough for today. Now it's time to rest. Section 4.5, Gentle Money Reflection. Journal 120 to 140. 20 minutes. Now we're going to try something a little different. We're going to engage in what I call gentle money reflection journaling. But you don't need paper. You don't need a pen. This is all internal, all mental, all quiet. What we're going to do is spend some time with prompts, with questions, with gentle invitations to notice things about your relationship with money, about your money story, about what you've been experiencing. And you'll just let thoughts arise, let feelings surface, without forcing anything, without trying to come up with perfect answers. This isn't about analyzing or fixing or solving. This is about witnessing, about observing, about being present with your money story without judgment. Let's begin. First, I want you to think about one small win you've had with money recently. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be impressive. It could be tiny. Maybe you didn't buy something you wanted but didn't need. Maybe you packed lunch instead of eating out. Maybe you paid a bill on time. Maybe you checked your bank balance even though it scared you. Maybe you had a conversation about money that needed to happen. Maybe you asked for help. Maybe you researched something financial that you didn't understand before. Just notice. What's one small win? One small thing you did that was responsible or brave or kind to yourself. Take your time. Breathe while you think. There's no rush. Breathe in. Breathe out. Just notice what comes up. Whatever it is, even if it feels trivial, even if it feels like it doesn't count, I want you to acknowledge it, to honor it, to say internally, yes, I did that. That was good. That was me trying. That matters. Because it does matter. Every small, responsible choice matters. Every tiny act of financial self-care matters. Every moment of courage matters. Breathe in, acknowledging your small win. Breathe out, letting yourself feel even a tiny bit of pride, even if it feels uncomfortable. Now, I want you to think about one area where you've been especially hard on yourself about money. One place where the self-judgment is loudest. One story you tell yourself about your financial failures or inadequacies. Maybe it's about debt. Maybe it's about not having savings. Maybe it's about a financial mistake you made. Maybe it's about not earning enough. Maybe it's about not having it together like other people seem to. Just notice what comes up. What's the harshest thing you tell yourself about money? Breathe while you notice. No need to answer out loud. Just observe. And now I want you to ask yourself, is this story true? Or is it just the voice of shame? Is it actually true? Or is it fear masquerading as fact? And even if there's some truth to it, is the harshness necessary? Is the cruelty helping? Is beating yourself up making anything better? What would it be like to soften toward yourself here? What would it be like to offer yourself the same compassion you'd offer a friend in the same situation? Breathe in, noticing where you've been harsh. Breathe out, offering just a tiny bit of softness, just a possibility of kindness. You don't have to fully believe in your worthiness yet. You don't have to suddenly love yourself and your financial situation. Just notice what it would be like to be a little less mean to yourself. Just consider it. Now think about one kind choice you could make tomorrow. Not related to money directly, necessarily, but something kind for yourself that acknowledges you're a person going through something hard. Maybe it's taking a few minutes to breathe in the morning. Maybe it's saying no to something you don't have energy for. Maybe it's reaching out to a friend. Maybe it's letting yourself rest without guilt. Maybe it's eating something nourishing. Maybe it's going for a walk. Maybe it's just being gentle with yourself when you look in the mirror. What's one kind thing you could do for yourself tomorrow? Breathe while you think about it. Let something surface. And silently, internally, commit to that. Say to yourself, tomorrow I will do this one kind thing for myself, because I deserve kindness, because I'm worthy of care, because I'm doing my best and that's enough. Breathe in, making that commitment. Breathe out, sealing it, honoring it. Now let's think about money more directly. I want you to notice, what's one small step you could take toward addressing your financial situation? And I mean small, not fixing everything, not solving your whole situation. Just one tiny step. Maybe it's looking at your bank balance finally when you're ready. Maybe it's writing down your expenses for one day. Maybe it's calling one creditor. Maybe it's researching one resource. Maybe it's talking to one person about what you're going through. Maybe it's watching one video about budgeting. Maybe it's just opening a budgeting app to see what's there. What's one small step? One thing that feels maybe doable, even if it's scary? Breathe while you consider. No pressure to commit. Just notice what comes up. And if you can, if it feels okay, silently commit to considering that step. Not necessarily doing it tomorrow, just considering it, thinking about it, holding it as a possibility. Breathe in, holding that possibility. Breathe out, not forcing it, just noticing. It's there. Now I want you to think about your money story, not your current situation, but the story you inherited, the messages you learned growing up. What did your family teach you about money, explicitly or implicitly? Was money talked about openly, or was it taboo? Was there enough, or was there scarcity? Was money a source of stress in your household, or was it relatively neutral? Just notice. What's your money history? What did you learn? Breathe while you reflect. These are old patterns, old messages, some helpful, some not. And now notice, which of those messages are still running in the background? Which old stories are still influencing how you think about money today? Maybe a belief that there will never be enough. Maybe a belief that talking about money is shameful. Maybe a belief that rich people are bad or that poor people are lazy. Maybe a belief that you don't deserve nice things. Maybe a belief that you have to work yourself to death to survive. Just notice what's there. Breathe. And gently ask yourself, are these beliefs serving me? Are they true? Or are they just old programming that I can question? You don't have to change anything tonight. Just notice. Just see the patterns. Awareness is the first step. Breathe in, seeing your patterns. Breathe out, holding them with curiosity rather than judgment. Now let's shift to something more hopeful. I want you to imagine how you want to feel about money someday. Not a specific dollar amount. Not, I want to be rich. But how do you want to feel? Maybe you want to feel peaceful. Maybe secure. Maybe in control. Maybe like you have choices. Maybe like you can breathe. Maybe like you're not constantly in crisis mode. How do you want to feel about money? Breathe while you imagine. Let that feeling arise. Let yourself want it without shame. And now notice, what would have to be true for you to feel that way? What would need to shift, internally or externally? Maybe you'd need a budget that works. Maybe you'd need some savings. Maybe you'd need less debt. Maybe you'd need to earn more. Maybe you'd need to stop comparing yourself to others. Maybe you'd need to forgive yourself for past mistakes. Just notice, what would need to shift? Breathe. Hold those possibilities gently. And here's the important question. Which of those things are within your control, even partially? Which shifts could you start working toward, slowly, over time? You can't control the economy, but maybe you can learn to budget. You can't control your past, but maybe you can forgive yourself. You can't instantly make more money, but maybe you can look for opportunities or build skills gradually. What's within your control, even slightly? Breathe while you consider. See what arises. Now I want you to think about your relationship with comparison. How often do you compare your financial situation to others? To friends, family, people on social media, people in your neighborhood? Just notice. No judgment. Comparison is human. We all do it. But how does it make you feel? Does it motivate you, or does it crush you? Does it inspire you, or does it make you feel like giving up? Breathe. Notice the impact of comparison on your mental health. And consider, what would it be like to focus on your own path, your own progress, your own journey, without constantly measuring yourself against others? What would it be like to celebrate your own small wins without needing them to be as big as someone else's wins? What would it be like to trust that your pace is okay, that your path is okay, that you're okay, even if you're not where others are? Breathe into that possibility. Breathe into your own pace, being enough. Now let's think about help and support. Who in your life could you talk to about money if you needed to? Who might understand? Who might not judge? Just notice who comes to mind. Maybe a friend, maybe a family member, maybe a therapist, maybe someone you haven't talked to in a while. And notice, what makes it hard to ask for help? What stories do you tell yourself about needing support? Maybe that you should be able to handle this alone. Maybe that asking for help is weakness. Maybe that you'll be judged. Maybe that people will think less of you. Breathe. Notice the barriers and gently challenge them. Is it really weakness to ask for help? Or is it actually strength? Is it really shameful? Or is it human? What would it be like to reach out, even just to one person, even just to say, I'm struggling and I needed to tell someone? Breathe into that possibility. You don't have to do it. Just consider it. Now, I want you to think about one thing you're grateful for, financially speaking. This might be hard, but try. Maybe you're grateful you have a job, even if it doesn't pay enough. Maybe you're grateful for a friend who understands. Maybe you're grateful for a roof over your head, even if the rent is too high. Maybe you're grateful for your own resilience, for the fact that you're still trying, still showing up, still fighting. What's one thing, even small, that you can feel grateful for? Breathe while you search for it. Let something surface, and sit with that gratitude for a moment. Let it expand just a little. Let it remind you that even in struggle, there are glimmers. Even in hardship, there are small lights. Breathe in gratitude. Breathe out, letting it settle. Finally, I want you to think about the person you're becoming through this struggle, because difficulty changes us. Financial stress is shaping you, whether you realize it or not. Maybe it's making you more resourceful, more resilient, more compassionate toward others who struggle, more aware of injustice, more determined, more careful, more appreciative of small things. What is this struggle teaching you? Who are you becoming? Breathe, reflect, notice. And even if it's hard, even if you'd rather not be learning these lessons, can you acknowledge that you are growing? That you are becoming stronger, more aware, more fully yourself? Breathe in, acknowledging your growth. Breathe out, honoring the person you're becoming. This gentle reflection time is coming to a close. You've done beautiful internal work. You've witnessed your story without judgment. You've seen yourself clearly, with compassion. Take one more deep breath, gathering up all these reflections, all these awarenesses, and imagine putting them in a safe place inside you, not to analyze later, not to fix, just to hold, just to acknowledge. They're part of you. They're your story, and your story matters. Breathe in, gathering your reflections. Breathe out, placing them somewhere safe inside. Beautiful work. Now let's continue toward rest. Section 5. Guided Release Visualization. Expanded. 140 to 200. 20 minutes. Now we're going to do something a little different. We're going to use your imagination, your mind's eye, to help you release these worries, to help you create some distance from the anxiety, to help you remember that you are not your financial situation. You are a whole person who exists beyond the numbers, beyond the struggle. I want you to imagine your worries as clouds drifting across the sky. Not dark storm clouds threatening rain, just ordinary clouds, white and fluffy, moving slowly across a bright blue sky on a calm day. Each worry is a cloud. Each specific financial stress is its own cloud. Your rent worry is a cloud. Your debt worry is a cloud. Your job worry is a cloud. Your future worry is a cloud. Each one distinct, but all temporary, all just passing through. And you are lying on soft grass, warm grass and sunshine, looking up at this vast blue sky, watching these clouds drift by. You can see them clearly. You can observe them. You can acknowledge they're there. But you don't have to grab onto them. You don't have to pull them down. You don't have to hold them close to you. You can just watch them pass. A worry cloud drifts into your field of vision from the left. You notice it. You say internally, Oh, there's my rent worry. You see its shape, its form. You acknowledge it exists, and you watch it drift slowly, steadily across your field of vision and out of sight on the right side. It moves across the sky and eventually disappears beyond the horizon. Gone, at least for now. Another cloud drifts in from the left. This one is your debt worry. There's my debt worry, you observe. You see it. You don't deny it exists. You don't pretend it's not there. But you also don't grab it. Don't hold it. Don't pull it close. You just watch it move across the sky, slowly, steadily, until it too disappears beyond the horizon on the right. Another cloud. Your worry about the future, about retirement, about ever feeling secure. There's my worry about the future, you notice. You observe it as it drifts across the vast sky. It moves, it passes, it goes. You're not making the worries disappear forever. They might drift back later, might circle around, might return. But right now, in this moment, you're practicing not grabbing onto them, not holding them close, not clutching them to your chest like precious things. You're practicing letting them move through your awareness without attaching to them, without becoming them. Breathe in, watching a worry cloud appear on the horizon. Breathe out, watching it drift away. Breathe in, another cloud drifts into view. Breathe out, it moves across your sky, slowly moving away from you. Continue this for a few moments, just watching clouds, just observing worries pass, just being the sky, vast and open, while thoughts and worries are just weather passing through. You are not your worries. You are the sky, vast and open and endless and unchanging. The worries are just clouds passing through, temporary, transient, not permanent, not solid, not you. They come and they go, but you remain. The sky remains. Breathe. Watch. Let go. Now, keeping that sense of spaciousness, that sense of being something bigger than your worries, I want to share something with you again, something we touched on earlier. 63% of Americans report losing sleep due to money worries. Nearly 2/3 of people. That's millions of people lying awake right now, in beds all across the country, worrying about the same things you're worrying about, feeling the same anxiety, experiencing the same insomnia. But you're here now, doing something different. You're choosing rest. You're choosing to care for yourself. You're choosing to believe that sleep is possible even with financial stress, that rest is allowed even when problems aren't solved, that you can let go for tonight and face things tomorrow. And that's powerful. That's courageous. That's important. That's an act of radical self-care in a world that tells you to worry, to hustle, to never rest, to always be solving. Visualize for a moment what your life could be like with restful nights ahead. Not no financial stress, because we're being realistic here, but restful nights despite the stress. Imagine waking up after a full night of good sleep, deep sleep, restorative sleep. Imagine how your body would feel, restored and rested, muscles relaxed, mind clear. Imagine how your mind would feel, sharp and clear instead of foggy and exhausted and struggling to form coherent thoughts. Imagine how much better you'd be able to handle the challenges of the day after quality sleep, after your nervous system has had a chance to reset. That's what we're building toward, not a perfect financial situation, because that might take time, might take months or years. But better sleep, starting tonight. Rest as an anchor. Rest as a foundation. Rest as the thing that makes everything else manageable. The thing that gives you the resources to face challenges. The thing that allows you to keep going. Now I want you to imagine tomorrow morning in more detail, not in an anxious planning way, not in a worried way, but in a gentle, compassionate, hopeful way. Picture yourself tomorrow morning, after you've had rest tonight, after you've slept. You wake up naturally, no alarm jarring you awake, just your body waking gently when it's ready. You open your eyes. The first thing you notice is that you actually slept. You actually rested. Your body doesn't feel as tired as it usually does. Your mind doesn't immediately flood with panic about money. There's space, there's breath. And yes, the financial challenges are still there. Your situation hasn't magically changed overnight. There's no sudden windfall, no surprise money in your account. But something feels different. You feel a little more capable of facing it because you slept. You have a little more clarity because your brain got rest, got to process, got to repair. You have a little more emotional resilience because your nervous system had a chance to recover, had hours of not being flooded with stress hormones. You get out of bed and you think to yourself, I could take one small step today. Just one. Not solve everything, just take one small step. One tiny action in the direction of addressing this, and one small step is manageable. One small step is doable. One small step doesn't feel overwhelming. Maybe that step is listing out your expenses, finally writing down where all the money goes so you can see it clearly, instead of keeping it all in your head, where it feels overwhelming and chaotic and impossible to track. Just writing it down, just seeing it clearly, that's a step. Maybe that small step is making one phone call, calling the electric company to ask about a payment plan, to see what options exist, to advocate for yourself, calling a creditor to explain your situation, to ask if they can work with you, calling a friend who you trust to ask for advice, or just to talk about what you're going through, to stop carrying this alone. Maybe that small step is researching one community resource, finding out if there's a food bank nearby that could help with groceries, looking into bill assistance programs in your area, checking if your county has free financial counseling services, people who can help you make sense of your situation without judgment. Maybe that small step is opening a budgeting app, just looking at it, just seeing what's available, not even inputting anything yet, just exploring, just learning what tools exist. Maybe that small step is being honest with one person about your financial situation, telling your partner you need to talk about money, you can't keep avoiding it, telling a friend you can't afford to go out, but you'd love to do something free together, being vulnerable instead of making excuses, telling your family member you can't help them right now because you're struggling yourself, setting a boundary, taking care of yourself first. One small step, that's all. Not a marathon, not climbing Everest, not solving everything, just one small step in the direction of addressing your financial reality, of taking some tiny bit of control, of moving from frozen paralysis toward action, even tiny action. And here's what's important to understand, what's crucial to remember, that one small step tomorrow doesn't fix everything. It doesn't make the debt disappear into thin air. It doesn't make money suddenly appear in your account like magic. It doesn't solve the systemic problems, the economic forces, the things beyond your control. But it does something really important, something powerful. It reminds you that you're not completely powerless. It reminds you that you have some agency, some ability to act, some capacity to influence your situation, even if you can't control everything. It reminds you that you can take action, even small action, even when things feel overwhelming. Picture yourself taking that one small step tomorrow. Really see it. See yourself doing it. Feel what it feels like to do just that one thing, to not have to do everything, to give yourself permission for progress to be small and slow and imperfect. Feel the relief of taking action, even tiny action. Feel the sense of agency, of not being completely helpless, of doing something instead of nothing. Now let's build out that visualization even more. Let's go deeper into this hopeful future. Let's imagine not just tomorrow, but a future version of you several months from now. Maybe 6 months, maybe a year, maybe a bit longer, who has been taking small steps consistently, who has been building slowly toward more stability, more peace. This future version of you doesn't have a perfect financial situation. Let me be very clear about that. They're not wealthy. They're not stress-free. They don't have unlimited money. They're not living some Instagram perfect life. But they have a little more peace. They have a little more stability. They have a little more okayness. Imagine this future. You has created a simple budget that they actually use, that actually works for them. Not a perfect, complicated spreadsheet, just a simple understanding of income and expenses, of where money comes from and where it goes. And they check it weekly. They know their numbers. And knowing doesn't trigger panic anymore. Knowing feels empowering, feels like having some control, some understanding. They have a tiny emergency fund. Maybe it's just $200. Maybe it's $500. Maybe, if things have gone well, it's $1,000. Not a huge amount. Not enough for every possible emergency. But something. A cushion. A buffer. And knowing it's there, knowing they have even that small safety net, helps them breathe easier. Helps them feel slightly less like they're one crisis away from complete disaster. Picture this future you waking up one morning and checking their bank account without panic. Not because there's tons of money there, not because they're rich, but because they know what to expect. They've been tracking things. They've been managing. They know approximately what should be there. There are no surprises lurking. No forgotten automatic payments that will overdraft the account. No bills they forgot about that are past due. They know. And knowing, even when the number is small, is so much less stressful than not knowing, than avoiding, than living in uncertainty and fear. Picture this future you paying bills one evening. They sit down at their computer or with their phone and they go through bills. Electric, water, internet, credit card minimum, whatever their bills are. And they pay them one by one. And they feel neutral about it instead of terrified. Not happy, because who's actually happy about paying bills? Who enjoys watching money leave their account? But neutral. Matter of fact. Like, okay, this needs to be paid. I've budgeted for it. I have the money for it. I'm paying it. It's done. No dramatics. No spiral into despair. No catastrophizing about how they'll never get ahead. Just done. Handled. Completed. Picture this future you going to the grocery store with a rough meal plan and a rough budget for the week. They walk through the aisles with intention instead of with anxiety. They know approximately what they can spend. They stick to their list, mostly. They make choices about what to buy. And they get to the checkout and see the total, and it's within their budget. It's what they expected. It's okay. And they feel proud of themselves for that discipline, for that planning, for that self-care, for that small victory. They pay and they leave. And there's no shame, no panic, no regret. No, I shouldn't have bought that. Just done. Just okay. Picture this future you having an unexpected expense come up, because they will. Unexpected expenses always come up. The car needs a minor repair, maybe $200. Or a tooth needs work, $300. Or an appliance breaks. Or something. And yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it's annoying. Yes, they'd rather not have to spend that money. But they can cover it. They take money from their tiny emergency fund, and they pay for it without going into debt, without panicking, without feeling like their whole life is falling apart, without feeling like they're back at square one. And yes, it depletes the emergency fund some, but they know they'll build it back up again, slowly, steadily. They've done it before. They can do it again. They know the process. They trust themselves. This future you has learned something important, something transformative, that financial peace isn't about having everything figured out. It's not about perfection. It's not about never having problems or struggles or setbacks. It's about having a plan, even a messy, imperfect plan that doesn't always work perfectly. It's about taking small steps, even when you don't feel like it, even when progress is slow, even when you have setbacks. It's about asking for help when you need it, instead of suffering in silence, instead of trying to do everything alone. It's about forgiving yourself for mistakes and starting again the next day, and the day after that, and the day after that. This future you has learned that they are capable. Yes, they weren't taught about money growing up. Yes, they've made mistakes, maybe big ones. Yes, they've had setbacks that weren't their fault. Yes, the economy is hard. Yes, the system is stacked against them. But despite all that, they're capable of learning. They're capable of adapting. They're capable of improvement. They're capable of change. They're capable of building something better. Slowly, step by step. Picture this future you sitting comfortably at home one evening, maybe reading a book, maybe watching something relaxing, maybe working on a hobby, maybe just resting. And they realize something, notice something. I haven't thought about money all day. Not once. Not because there's unlimited money. Not because all problems are solved. Not because they're rich. But because there's enough. There's a plan. There's knowing. There's peace. There's trust that tomorrow will be okay. Not perfect, but okay. Manageable. Survivable. That feeling in their chest, that openness, that lightness, that ease, that's calm. That's what peace feels like. That feeling in their stomach, that settledness, that softness, that groundedness, that security. Not wealth, not luxury, not perfect financial health, just security. Just okay. Just enough. And okay is beautiful. Okay is abundance in its own way. Okay is everything when you've been living in constant anxiety and fear and panic. Okay is freedom. Okay is peace. Okay is enough. This future is possible for you. This future is real. This future is within your reach. Not overnight. Not without effort. Not without setbacks. Not without struggles along the way. But possible. Real. Attainable. Every small step you take brings you closer to this version of yourself. Every time you choose to address your finances instead of avoiding them completely. Every time you ask for help instead of suffering alone. Every time you forgive yourself for a mistake and start again. Every time you choose rest instead of worrying yourself sick. Every time you take action, however small. All of those small choices, small actions, small moments of courage and compassion and trying, they add up. They accumulate. They compound. They move you slowly, steadily toward a more peaceful relationship with money, toward a more stable life, toward this future version of yourself who can breathe. You are on your way to that future, even if you can't see it yet. Even if it feels impossibly far away. Even if you have no idea how you'll get there. Even if you're starting from a really hard place. You're already on the path just by being here, just by choosing rest tonight, just by believing that something better is possible, just by not giving up. This future version of you wants you to know something. They want to reach back through time and tell present you. Tell the you lying here right now. You made it. It was hard. There were setbacks. There were moments you wanted to give up. There were times you cried. There were times you felt hopeless. But you made it. You kept going. You got here. You found your way to more peace, more stability, more okayness. And you started by resting. You started by being kind to yourself. You started by believing it was possible. You started tonight. So rest now. Rest deeply. Rest fully. Let your body recover from the stress it's been under. Let your mind quiet from the racing thoughts. Let your nervous system settle from the constant activation. Because tomorrow, you'll take that one small step. And the day after, maybe another small step. And the day after that, maybe another. And slowly, like water wearing away stone, like a plant growing toward light, you'll make your way toward that peaceful future. It's waiting for you. It's real. It's possible. And you're worthy of it. You deserve it. You can get there. Breathe in, connecting with that future version of yourself, feeling their peace, their stability, their calm. Breathe out, trusting the journey, trusting the process, trusting yourself. Breathe in, feeling their peace becoming your peace, their hope becoming your hope. Breathe out, letting it settle into your body, into your heart. Breathe in, knowing you are capable, knowing you are worthy, knowing you can do this. Breathe out, releasing doubt, releasing fear, releasing despair. You are on your way. You are becoming that person. You are moving toward that peace. One breath at a time. One night of rest at a time. One small step at a time. One day at a time. You're doing it. You're already doing it. Right now. Let's repeat some affirmations now, letting these truths sink deep into your subconscious mind, into your body, into your understanding of who you are and what's possible for you. Say them silently, or just listen and absorb. I am safe now, in this moment. Right now, I am safe. Progress is possible for me. Change is possible for me. Rest renews me and prepares me for tomorrow. I am capable of learning and growing. Small steps are enough. Small steps are everything. I am more than my bank balance. I am more than my debt. I am more than my financial situation. I deserve peace, stability, and rest. Financial security is possible for me, even if I can't see how yet. I am doing my best, and that is enough. I am not alone in this struggle. Millions share this burden. Tomorrow, I will take one small step. Just one. Tonight, I rest. Tonight, I choose peace. Tonight, I let go. Beautiful. So beautiful. You are opening to new possibilities. You are releasing old patterns of panic and shame. You are choosing a different relationship with financial stress. You are becoming the person who can handle this with more grace, more peace, more self-compassion. Now let's descend into sleep. Section 6. Deep sleep. Descent and ambient affirmations. 2 minutes to 2 minutes and 10 seconds. 10 minutes. Narration note. From this point forward, speak extremely slowly and softly, with increasingly gentle delivery. Let your voice become almost a whisper, barely audible. The goal is to guide the listener seamlessly into deep sleep. Now we begin the final descent into deep, restorative, healing sleep. From this point forward, I will speak slower and slower, softer and softer, quieter and quieter. You don't need to follow along actively anymore. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to listen carefully. Just let my voice become background, become part of the ambient sound, become something that guides you gently into sleep without requiring any effort or attention from you. Your body is so heavy now, so soft, so relaxed, so completely at ease, sinking deeper and deeper into whatever surface holds you, every muscle loose, every muscle soft, every joint released, every part of you surrendering to gravity, to rest, to sleep, so heavy, so soft, so ready for sleep. Your breath has slowed on its own, naturally, automatically. You don't have to think about breathing anymore. Your body knows what to do. Your body has always known. In and out, slow and steady, slower and slower, automatic and easy, carrying you deeper into rest with every exhale, every breath out taking you deeper, deeper, deeper into sleep. Here's one final fact, one final piece of information before I let you drift fully into sleep, before I let you go completely. 48% of Americans have at least a 3-month emergency fund saved, which means that even in this difficult economy, even with all these challenges, nearly half of people have managed to build some savings, some cushion, some security, which means it's possible. It can be done. Slowly, gradually, $1 at a time. Small starts count. Every dollar saved matters. Every small step forward is progress. You don't have to do everything perfectly. You don't have to do everything at once. You just have to keep trying, keep learning, keep taking those small steps. And you will get there. Slowly, steadily, surely, one step at a time, one day at a time. You will get there. Now let the words become fewer. Let them drift further apart. Let them become whispers in the darkness, gentle reminders that you are safe, you are worthy, you are enough. You are becoming the person who navigates financial stress with grace and peace. Money flows with time. Nothing is permanent. Situations change. You are capable of navigating whatever comes. You are capable. You are worthy. You are enough. You are enough exactly as you are right now, regardless of your bank balance, regardless of your debt, regardless of your situation. You are enough. Sleep deeply now. Let yourself go completely. Surrender to rest. Your body knows how to sleep. Your body has always known. Your mind knows how to quiet. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Trust that tomorrow will bring new possibilities, new opportunities, new chances. You are safe. You are held by the surface beneath you. You are worthy of peace. You are worthy of rest. You are worthy of financial stability in your future. You are worthy of freedom from this constant anxiety. You deserve all of it. Small steps will get you there. Small steps are enough. Small steps are everything. One foot in front of the other. One day at a time. One choice at a time. One breath at a time. One moment at a time. Sleep now. Deep, restoring, healing sleep. Let everything go. Let all the worry drift away like those clouds across the sky, disappearing into the horizon. Let your mind empty. Let your body rest completely. Let your nervous system reset. Let healing happen. You've done enough for today. You've been enough today. You are enough always. Rest now in that knowing. Rest now in that truth. Rest now in that peace. Rest completely. Rest deeply. Rest now. Money anxiety doesn't have to steal your sleep anymore. Financial stress doesn't have to define your life anymore. You are more than this struggle. You are so much more than this. And peace is coming. Stability is coming. Better days are coming. Small step by small step, you are moving toward them. You are on your way. Sleep deeply. Sleep peacefully. Sleep without fear. You are safe in this moment, and this moment is all there is. This breath, this now, this rest, just this, only this. Sleep. Let go completely. Release everything. Fall into sleep like falling into warm water, like sinking into the softest bed, like being held by the universe itself, by something bigger than you. You are held. You are safe. You are enough. Always enough. Money flows with time. You are enough. Sleep deeply. Worries wait for daylight. You are safe. Sleep peacefully. Small steps bring change. You are capable. Sleep completely. Rest renews everything. You are worthy. Sleep now. You are enough. Always enough. Forever enough. Sleep. Safe. Worthy. Enough. Capable. Peace. Rest. Sleep. Peace is here. Peace is now. Peace is yours. Take it. Receive it. Sleep. Rest deeply now. So deeply. Let go of everything. 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 Just sleep. Just peace. Just rest. Safe. Enough. Worthy. Peaceful. Calm. Rest. Sleep. Sleep now. Sleep deeply. Sleep peacefully. Sleep completely. Sleep. You are enough. You are safe. You are worthy. Sleep. 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 Peace. 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 Rest. 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 Sleep deeply now. You are enough. Sleep. Peace. Rest. Sleep now.
Enough.
Safe. Worthy. Sleep